Hi guys, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I know I am. The first part of the threads I need for my cross stitch has arrived. As you can tell by the title, I said when they arrived I would do my very first Flosstube, and it's Friday, so I want to do a little bit of a backstory on my cross stitching, shall we say, because I've got loads to show you. But this is where it all started. This tiny little guy here, 22 years ago, a friend of mine, I'd seen some stitching she was working on and I'd said, what was that? And she told me. She says, you really need to try it. So she gave me this off the front cover of one of her magazines, and that's where it all spiraled out of control from then. So that was my very first ever, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but I did kind of mess up a little bit on the words. It should say honey. But hey, my first go. And then it kind of moved along. Now, there's a couple of these that are a little bit dirty. You know, they've just got moved around, and because I've never framed them or anything. But this was the first big project I worked on. And there is a bit of paint on there as well, as you do. It's just, I don't know, I did it and then I kind of went off Winnie the Pooh. But that was my first big project. Not so big now when I look back. And then it was kind of little ones like this from the covers of magazines, which then progressed onto this one. Now this one was actually pre-printed on the fabric. It didn't have a chart I had to follow, but it told me which colours I needed for where, because the colours were numbered, so the numbers were in each of these, but it was pre-printed onto that piece of fabric. Not that it shows. Quite tidy, really. The rest of them aren't. So yeah, then I think it was this one. Yes, this particular piece is about, how old is it? It's 19, 20. So yeah, about 20, 19, maybe 20 years old. And I was so proud of that when I did it. Now this, the colours up here aren't brilliant, but I was fairly new still to cross stitch, and I didn't fully understand the DMC things, so I just kind of had a packet of threads, pulled out similar colours, and off I went. It's just, you'll see how, you know, it doesn't look bad. I was going to say bad, but it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good. The only thing I will say I didn't like, oh, hold on, let me try and hold this. This thread right here for his reins and around his bells. That was a gold. It's really weird thread, but I really didn't like stitching with it at all. So fortunately it was only sort of on the bells, his bells, around his belt, and the reins, so to speak. And then we did the pockets. This was free in a magazine, this pattern was. I don't still have it, unfortunately. But this Ada comes in the band, just like that. And I had to stitch it and sew it all on. But that was great fun. And when Reese was little, I only had him, so we kind of put little treats in each pocket. And then I backed it onto some felt and hung it and made myself a little hanger. So that goes up every year now. The kids like it. They keep moaning at me to put stuff in it, but the next thing that came, no, I've gone too far. I've missed one. I've missed two actually. We have this one. This is a chart by Mabel Lucy Atwell. My mum bought me this for my 21st birthday. Sadly, I didn't finish it before she passed away, so she never got to see it completed, but I made it into this cushion and it sits by my bed. Yeah, it was lovely. She only passed away 2001. I was 21 in 1999. No, 98. So she never got to see it. Then we have this one. This I did before the cushion. Now, this used to hang in my mum and dad's house because it was to celebrate their anniversary. As you can tell, it says mum and dad. Fortunately for me, I finished it and I gave it her early because she passed away before she even reached the date for that anniversary. She passed away the month before, I think. So yeah, it was framed. She had it framed and I took her in a wheelchair to go and pick it back up. And she absolutely loved it. And then obviously when she passed away, my dad asked me if I wanted to keep hold of it. Yes, of course. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. The only thing I didn't, it's not a dislike really, but you had to take 2 different coloured threads. One was dark and one was a medium, and it gave you that look. So I'll pull in 1 thread from 2. So that was my mum's. Then we moved on. Then I had Tyler. Now this one is amazing. He loves it, I love it. I made this, hold on one moment. I've had to cut my son off, he's trying to ring me. This was pre-squared Ada, softer than normal Ada. But I did, I found a free pattern. Oh my gosh, this was years ago. Where did I put it? Here it is. It was in a cross-stitch magazine. I mean, Tyler's 14 now and I did it just before he was born. So I had to tape across the middle to stop it from making a mess and messing up the chart because I kept folding it. But I don't have the heart to throw the chart. But we have, it's called Mr. Men and Little Miss. It's all the alphabet. I'll try and show you. And then obviously I, J. I love that one, Mr. Lazy. And then obviously as I came to the middle I had 2 spare squares. So I put his name and date of birth in one, how heavy he was and what time he was born in the other. And he treasures this now. He actually asked me if he could have it. So I've let him have it. Not that it's much use to him because it's too small, but we did use it when he was little in his pram, all tucked up with this because I backed it with fleece, with a fleece blanket. So yeah, this really didn't take me much time, to be honest. See, I backed it with a fleece so he'd have that on him in his pram. Then it's gone really warm in here. Then we have, now one of these, I'm actually missing a Winnie the Pooh one because my eldest son has it. Because that was, I did a little one for him with the Winnie the Pooh alphabet, and I did the same with his name, his date of birth and whatever. He's got that. And then we have, hold on, these, which I did for my kids. He also has his Christmas stocking too, so I can't show you his. I should have stitched that down. But they weren't completely cross-stitched. The background wasn't cross-stitched. That's Tyler's. And then Ellie's. I love this one. It was amazing. This was all Ada. Not printed in the background, but I did get to stitch all the word in. Let it snow and the snowflakes. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. And then Riley's, my last one. This one was super cute too. And my eldest has now asked me to do one for his girlfriend, being as he's got one at his house. So we'll have to discuss that one. Then we have, see, I have quite a history with cross stitch. This one, I think it's called All Our Yesterdays. They do loads of pictures like this. And I did have fun doing that one too. That's actually framed, as you can tell. I've chipped the paint because I've dropped it at some point. I painted the frame myself. Oh, and there. Nuts. Then I'm hoping this is all of them. Okay, this one then became the biggest one I'd worked on so far. It's called The Secret World of the Flower Fairies by Cicely Mary Barker. Now, I started up here and I worked around this way. And when I was about here, someone else asked me if I could do that one because she loves Cicely Mary Barker's Flower Fairies. So I left mine where it was. I started hers, worked round, and then when I got to where I was, I stitched a bit on each one and I finished them both at the same time. It took about 2 years, I think, to finish them both. Then we got on to this. I think this is the last one. Don't quote me on that. I should probably find some others, and I think you guys have seen this one before. This is where my Heaven and Earth design journey started. Pretty in Pink by Selena Fenech. And I still got to find a frame. And I'm not sure if you can see there's a line straight down the middle there because I forgot to iron it before I framed it. I keep meaning to take it out. Yeah, I might now have actually got it down. But yeah, that was my first Heaven and Earth design, and oh my gosh, it was a shock because there was something like 39 different colours in that tiny little butterfly there, and you can tell how small it is. 39 colours, and then because it's a whole cross stitch, everyone knows that, there was a lot of antique white in the background. There is some very, very, very baby pink mixed in as well, pale pastel pink. But it was a lot of cream because there's a lot of background. So that's kind of where I'm up to on my finishes for the last 23 years, I think. Now on to what I am about to work on because my threads have arrived. I've been watching everyone else start and I've been so jealous. This is what the threads have arrived for, Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart. I've only ordered 39 threads so far, but that gets me a few pages and I'm not going to complete them really fast, so I'll order some more while I'm working on it. And then my very last one, which is actually an in progress one. I am not loving the hoop. Doesn't seem to matter how tight I put it on, it seems to slide right off again. But this is the picture. Now this was something I bought from Aldi's, would you believe, for £1.99. Was it 99p? They reduced it. It's either 99p or £1.99, I forget which, but Ellie and Riley are the only two that haven't had a birth sampler, so to speak. Reese has had one, Tyler's had one, which is the blanket, and I never got round to doing Ellie and Riley one. So I might just sort of incorporate Ellie's name, date of birth and that on that one. And then I got this one for Riley. He absolutely loves Mickey Mouse. Loves him. I pulled this out about, what, 10 minutes ago, just so I got everything ready, and Riley got so excited he thought I was going to get it out and work on it now. So I suppose when I've finished my session on the Once Upon a Fairy Tale, I might get this out later. And actually I'll show, my fabric is huge. I've put it in my Lapman frame purely because I've got nothing else to put it in at the minute. I want to try with a Q-snap, but it means I have to order one because I don't have any. But for now, it is in this big hunky frame. Got all the fabric draping down the back and at the side, and I've managed to roll it and peg it down here because it's humongous, but when I'm not working on it, I can fold it up and put it away, sort of, if the fabric will fit in the case, because it is rather big. But this means I can have it on my lap to work on. See, it's in a, I'll try and show you, it's in a bag, it's in a case that you zip together. Wasn't cheap, it's about £40, £35–40 when I bought it, but it has served me well. And then I also got my other fabric for my other Heaven and Earth design, which I have not bought any threads for yet, but I've shown you before, I'm sure I have. It's for that one, Felicia, but I haven't got any threads yet. I'll have to see if the threads are the same, but I paid £5.25 on eBay for the right size fabric. 25 count even weave by DMC, and it comes with a free pattern too. Not that I want it, I don't want the free pattern. So yeah, that is my cross stitch story up till now. I've got to put all them away now. Took me ages to get them all out. And I probably forgot one there. Anyway, the Once Upon a Fairy Tale I'm about to start as soon as I switch this camera off, because Riley's playing with his dad, Tyler's on his Xbox, and Elsie's gone out with her friend for the afternoon. So that's me time, stitch time. So yeah. So that's my Flosstube number 1. And I will catch up with you probably next Friday. See how much I get done between then. I'm still not comfortable showing my face, I'm sorry. So we'll carry on with it just like this for a little bit until I feel a bit more comfortable. And then I might show my face. Okay, if you like the video, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Any comments, any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I always get back to you. Guys, bye.